All right, guys, welcome back to another eBay Weekly Review episode. We are going to just jump right in. It's October the 17th. It's Thursday. We're going to start with this really nice Connor Bedard O-Pee-Chee Platinum Marquee Rookie. This is the Pond Hockey variation. Sells for $510 US, 703 Canadian. Curious to see how the Bedard cards are going to do in O-Pee-Chee Platinum, and looks like they're off to a decent start with this one offered by MC Sports Cards, and I will be hosting MC Showcase Live this coming Monday. Check it out. Always a ton of fun. Next up, Eric Lindros, 97 Upper Deck 6th Sense Wizards. These are among my top 3 favorite inserts of the 90s. I just love these things. They're numbered out of 100 on the back, as you can see right over there, 15 out of 100 on the Lindros. It sells for $499.99 US on 2 bids. The opening bid was $499, and looks like the same bidder just came in with 3 hours left in the auction and said, I'm going to up my max bid a bit here in case someone comes in and tries to compete with me on the card itself. Takes it home for 500 US, 689 Canadian. Congratulations to him. Beautiful card. Here's a Patrick Waugh 2021 SP Game Used embroidered in hockey, numbered out of 5 with an auto in a PSA 9 holder. Now, to me, these cards, first of all, SP Game Used, so it's not a game used memorabilia piece. That's not even a memorabilia piece. It's a manufactured patch. It's a design element. To me, it doesn't need to be game used, although the brand says game used, so that is a little strange. But nonetheless, with a sticker auto here, it's a cheaper way to get into what is otherwise a very nice looking Patrick Waugh autograph card. PSA 9, 171 US, 236 Canadian. Here's a card that was on my watch list for a while. It was offered by Carlson Cards. Buy it now of 2,500 US, 34.50 Canadian. This listing did not end. I saw it on my ended listings there. I'm like, oh, I wonder if someone bought it. I clicked through to see. No, it was just ended early, as we can see up here, because it's no longer available. Well, what happened? It looks like Carlson sent the card over to MC Sports Cards, and it is now being offered at auction. It will end in about 5 days from now. It's currently 155 US, but nice looking card. Nice looking Exquisite Manning game used patch with an auto on the patch. We'll see what it sells for. I'll be continuing to watch and we'll report back on that one next week. All right, guys. Sidney Crosby Chronology Auto Patch in a CGC 8.5. What's interesting about this card is look where Crosby signed it. Why do you sign it there, Sidney? Well, if you don't know, he does not like signing over the Penguins logo. So he didn't sign across the chest, which is probably where they wanted him to sign. He signs down in the lower left corner there so that there's no infringement upon what he highly holds in high regard, being the Penguins logo. I don't know where I sit on this. I think it's cool, but I prefer he signed it across his chest. Anyway, card does $787 Canadian. Really nice card. Chronology is a great brand. All right, guys, next up is a Connor McDavid Fleer Ultra Sapphire Medallion. This one hurts my feelings a little bit, guys. You'll see why in a moment. This card in a PSA 9, only 25 copies produced, sells by ComC Auctions for $108.50 US, $150 Canadian on 15 bids here on October the 10th. But look at right here, back on July 19th, same copy, well, different copy, same card sells for $152 US, about 200 Canadian. And that happened to be me as the buyer. Yeah, I won the auction. So 3 months later, the next copy of the card comes and it sells at a 33% discount from what I paid. It is what it is. Can't win them all. I still love owning the card, but maybe I should have been patient. And I don't know why these medallions aren't doing so well. Is it because they're an EPAC only product? Is it because there's about 10 or 15 parallels? I'm not sure. I do love the card still, and I'm going to continue to hold my copy. Here's a beautiful Henrik Zetterberg Upper Deck, the Cup Foundations quad tag piece 101 with a great auto. Sells on Slab Sharks for 1,040 Canadian. I just want to see what it was going to do. We have a Dale Hawerchuk Emblems of Endorsements, also on Slab Sharks. This sells for $443 Canadian. I already have a copy of this card. Otherwise, I would have wanted it. I have a feeling I know who bought it. We were chatting at the Montreal Expo a couple weeks ago. He told me he was going to bid on it. I said, all right, well, I already have a copy, so I don't need it. So good luck to you, and I hope that you did win that card, sir. It'll look great with the rest of your collection. Another Emblems of Endorsement, Grant Fuhr from 2013, also sold on Slab Sharks for $425, but it had sold before on Slab Sharks, must not have been paid. This one sells on October the 10th. Where did I put it? But here, back on September 26th, sells for $461 Canadian. Must not have been paid. because it gets relisted and now sells for $425. So it takes about a $35 discount or so because I guess the non-payer didn't bid again, and the 461 bidder didn't win. Whoever bid 425 wins the card. Beautiful card. Love the colors of the Oilers. Grant Fuhr does have some great cards out there. Not a lot, but the few he does look really good. I do love this card right there. And then we gave a sneak peek of this a second ago, but this is a 2014 Emblems of Endorsement Marc-Andre Fleury. Love the patches, and you might not be able to tell, but that top patch is a 3-color as well. A little bit of yellow tucked into the right corner here with some great detail. Beautiful card, does $850 Canadian. Marc-Andre Fleury continues to get hobby love in our hobby. All right, let's close those up. That's the Marc-Andre Fleury, $850 Canadian on Slap Sharks. And then we have an Igor Shesterkin Young Gun, $146.50 Canadian. It sells for on Slap Sharks. This was a client of mine. If anyone out there, if you are looking to sell your cards on eBay, you want to sell them on consignment through Slap Sharks, reach out to me. I can help you with your submission. I can be your affiliate and take care of you through the process and also help you market your cards that are for sale. Shesterkin was a client of mine, and I think she was very pleased with this sale. All right, guys, I was watching this card because it's just such a crazy patch. Connor Hellebuyck is a perennial Vezina Trophy candidate and winner. Slab Sharks offered this beautiful RPA of his for sale. It sells for $971 Canadian, a lot for an RPA at a $249, but that patch is spectacular, and it's a SGC 9 with a 10 auto. I think the patch drives the sale of this card at a $249, but still even higher than I was expecting at $971, but you just never know. Here's a Boria Salming limited logos, also by Slab Sharks, numbered out of 50. Really nice patch for the max 2 color on Toronto Maple Leafs. Decent auto, but Boria Salming has a bit of a cult following amongst Swedish collectors, amongst Toronto Maple Leaf fans. So I'm not surprised it gets $356 USD for what is a really cool design of limited logos. And I think one of the, maybe perhaps the only vertical limited logo design in Cup's history. Maybe there's one other one. Another limited logos, 2017 Steven Stamkos. This is an SP out of 25. Limited logos are the standard. They're out of 50. SPs are out of 25 usually, and SSPs are out of 10. That's how it goes. This Stamkos, formerly of the Tampa Bay Lightning, now the Nashville Predators, does $223 US, $307 Canadian. Nice card. I want to see what it was going to sell for. I was curious. And here's a Johnny Gaudreau 2022 limited logos, non-autoed, numbered out of 50 with a beautiful, flag patch. I love watching Johnny Gaudreau cards right now. Just such a sad story, but this Gaudreau limited logo sells for $166 US, $230 Canadian. Here's another limited logo, Steve Yzerman from 2010, one of my favorite limited logos design, but not my favorite. My favorite, I think, is it's the 12s or 13s. I forget which one, which year it is. But these are nice as well. I remember when these came out, they took the hobby by storm. My friend Chris at Bow Sports Cards was offering this for $799 Canadian, but he did accept the best offer of what worked out to $515 US, which was $700 Canadian. So he took $100 off his asking price and did move this card to a new collection, Steve Yzerman limited logos, offered by Bow Sports Cards. And this card was making its way through the social media on Instagram here because it is such a nice piece from the newest Cup, a Trios patch out of 10 featuring Crosby, McDavid, and Ovechkin. But look at those patches. You can't do any better than those patches for these three players. I call these three the triumvirate: Crosby, McDavid, Ovechkin. What a great looking card. Just love it. Does $1,009 US, just under 1,400 Canadian. And yeah, I'd love to have it. I'm sure a bunch of us would. We'll see if other copies pop up soon. And then we have a dual signature materials from the 2021 year of the Cup, numbered 5 of 5, Austin Matthews, John Tavares. Great looking card. I'd love to have this one. $541 US, just under 750 Canadian on it. And I was curious to see what it would go for. A little bit lower than I would think, just because of the players. But in Toronto, it's kind of Austin Matthews or bust. Mitch Marner, Nylander, Tavares, they all play and within the hobby under Matthews' shadow, just like in Edmonton with Hyman and Draisaitl and even Bouchard. Everyone, it's all about McDavid there. It's all about Matthews in Toronto. And even in Pittsburgh with Malkin, it's all about Crosby. You can get all of these other players at steep discounts to, I think, what they would sell for if those players whose shadows they play under were not on those teams, because those are all still great players. All right. MC Sports Cards sold a pair of Exquisite tribute patches from 2020's The Cup. This Crosby PSA 9 with a 10 auto, beautiful card, numbered 1 of 25. Great auto right there. It is 3 color. There's some white tucked up into the top right corner of the patch window. Sells for $21.75 US, 3,000 Canadian. And then, not to be outdone, or to be outdone, I guess, the Connor McDavid 2020 tribute out of 25 with a beautiful patch and auto does 3,000 US, 4,200 Canadian. So McDavid outselling Crosby by about 30%. And you compare careers and accolades, it's still Crosby by a mile, but McDavid has time to catch up career-wise. Here's a 2010 Upper Deck the Cup patch variation gold Wayne Gretzky. You guys know I collect these. I have 430 of them across all years. I have a copy of this card already. Was curious to see what it would sell for. Pleasantly surprised. It did 350 USD, 485 Canadian. I wasn't expecting it to go for that much, but I'm glad to see that it did. My copy is almost the exact same. It has like that same patch, just coming in from a different angle. So really nice to see that card getting some respect. Here's a Gretzky auto. 2001 SPX signed signature signs of excellence. Not a card we see often. A beautiful card, by the way. Let's look at it horizontally. Just a beautiful card right there with some nice use of foil. PSA 10 on the card. The autograph is not graded, but looks wonderful as well. 1,783 US, 2460 Canadian. That's a lot for Gretzky auto, but it isn't a PSA 10, which is going to add a premium in our hobby. And it's an older Gretzky auto from all the way back to 2001. Again, we don't see that card very often. Another Gretzky auto from 2014, the Cup. This is the base auto variation, parallel, numbered out of 5. Look at the beautiful gold. Look at the beautiful autograph on that. Just perfect. Graded by MNT Grading as a mint 9, offered by Slapshark. Sells for $12.59 Canadian. Now look at this next card. Also from the Cup, but from 2022's the Cup, an enshrinements auto out of 25, sells for $12.50 Canadian. So this Gretzky auto, pictured in an Oilers jersey, out of 25 does $12.50, while this one out of 5 does $12.50. Well, $12.59. So, enshrinements are beautiful. Perhaps they get more hobby love than the gold auto variation does. But these are both cards from the Cup, both Gretzky autos. One's out of 5, one's out of 25. However, one is 10 years old and one just came out. And I think maybe some of the recency bias drives up the price on these enshrinements. But enshrinements are also very popular, so I'm not positive what causes the two cards to sell for the same price, even though one's out of 5 and one's out of 25. I think that's a big difference right there. You can figure that one out for yourselves. And then here's a nice Emblems of endorsement Wayne Gretzky from 2013. Beautiful auto. The patches, obviously, not that desirable. Don't know where they're from. Those colors are not familiar to me, but I'd love to know what they're. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. Graded 8.5 by MNT Grading, sells for 2,500 Canadian on Slabsharks. A beautiful card, despite the fact those patches are just kind of weird, and I don't know what their source is. And finally, another Gretzky auto. This is from 2014, the Cup. So this one looks a lot like the autograph out of 5, but this is the auto memorabilia variation. Interesting about this card is, again, what is that piece there? Well, if you don't know yet, this is actually from an equipment bag. It says the memorabilia and Oilers equipment bag has been certified to have been used by Gretzky. So he carried or had someone carry his equipment in the bag that featured this memorabilia piece. And that's what Upper Deck had to use back in 2014. It sells on Slabsharks for 2,225 Canadian dollars. Great card. I do love it. All right, we're going to get in some honorable numbers. Now, honorable numbers in 2022 took a bit of a turn. Actually, in 2021, they took a bit of a turn where Upper Deck stopped using, or not in all cases, isn't using the player's jersey number to make the card out of. They're using some stat of that player. And sometimes I think they make a lot of sense and are cool. And sometimes I think it's just kind of weird. Like, for example, here, Patrick Waugh had 40 wins in the year 2000. By the way, beautiful auto, hand-numbered serial right there, and a nice design overall. 40 wins in 2000. That's a big stat there. 40 wins is huge for a goalie. So I think that's a reasonable number to use for an honorable numbers. And this copy, however, I just do not like these stick pieces at all. This is, to me, the stick pieces kind of make the card ugly overall because they look dirty. Sells for $263 US, $363 Canadian. But look at the next copy of the same card. So much nicer. The 37 of 40 copy way outshines the 24. Don't like those pieces. Don't want that card at all. Love this card. This card, was offered at $400 and was ended early due to an error in the listing, which we know just means that they changed their mind or sold it elsewhere. Don't know what happened with it, but in any event, $400, maybe we'll see it pop up again. So again, but you could have bought it for $400, whereas someone paid $263. I would easily pay that $137 difference to go from this card that I think is just kind of hideous, to be honest, to this one here. And the design is nice, the picture's nice, the auto's nice, but those pieces are hideous to me, whereas these ones are just awesome. So I would happily have paid that premium and bought this one over the other one. Another honorable numbers, Austin Matthews. Now, this is out of 12 because he had 12 game-winning goals in the 20-21 season. That's a lot of game-winning goals. I mean, that's probably a quarter of their wins, and he had the game-winning goals. So that is significant. Two-color patches, numbered 5 at 12 on card auto, sells for $554 US, $765 Canadian. And the nice thing about this honorable numbers decision by Upper Deck is that usually his honorable numbers are out of 34, his jersey number. This is almost 3 times as rare. So I think that's a move in the right direction to add some chase and scarcity to the card. Now, Gretzky honorable numbers. We saw the 2 Patrick Waghs. We're going to look at a pair of Gretzky's here. This one was offered for $3,500 USD. Nice auto, nice card. You can see the left piece is cool. The right piece is boring as heck. I wouldn't want it, but it was sold. How much? Well, thanks to our friends at Card Ladder, we find out a $3,000 offer was accepted. It is the number 1 of 10, if that means anything to you. Asking $3,500, they took $3,000 on this card. But look at this next piece and what it sells for. 1, 2, 3, go. Look at that. Way nicer of a card. At auction, sells for $2,411. So I'd rather have this for $2,411 and have $600 left over than having bought this copy for $3,000. Buy it now, wins the game here on a lesser card than this one that was auctioned by a seller named Dude Wears Makar, maybe with only 85 feedback. That might have hurt. It came out of the US. A lot of times these cards go to Canada. That might have hurt it. I don't know. Whereas this guy was also out of the US, but that's a buy it now, so it's different. I just don't know why this card would sell for so much cheaper than this one. It just has to do with who's watching, who's there at the time, those sorts of things. So that's it for this episode, you guys. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Appreciate that. If you are interested in consigning your cards to Slab Sharks, I am an affiliate with them and happy to be your representative with your Slab Sharks consignments. Reach out to me. You can reach me, Jeremy@slabsharks.com. You can also reach me at sportscardsliveshow@gmail.com. And I'm just going to go check and make sure that it is Jeremy@slabsharks.com versus slabsharks.ca, and it is .com. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you again soon.